Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Rafael Benavides and today I'm going to show you how to perform blue-green deployments and canary deployments using OpenShift and microservices. To demo those deployments, I will use the Hello World MSA, which is basically a kind of microservices playground. The blue-green deployment says that you will have two different environments with two different versions running in parallel, the blue and the green version. And to switch from one version to another, you basically switch the proxy from the version green to the version blue and vice versa. To demo that, I will use the API gateway. So once that I change the API gateway, the response for all the other microservices will be changed also. So let's modify the API gateway. The API gateway is a Java application built using Spring. So we will change the response to say that all of them will have the version 2. Now I will package the application. So now that the application is packaged, I will create a new build inside OpenShift, but using a different name. So the name will be API Gateway Blue. The type is binary, and I will use a label here for that build. Now I can start the build of API Gateway Blue using the resources from the current dir, and I want to follow that build. This will upload the resources that I need to create a Docker image. In this case, I just need the Docker file and the jar file that I packed in the previous step, and use both to create the Docker image. Now that we have the new image, we can create an application. OC, new app, API Gateway, Blue, and the label will be API app equals API Gateway Blue. Okay, now we have both environments running. We have the existing API Gateway and the API Gateway Blue. But the route API-gateway-hello world points to the existing service called API Gateway. What we need to do now is to switch the route from this service to this service. So let's perform a patch in the route. So I will change the destination to API Gateway Blue. That caused the switch from the route from this service to this service. Let's see the result in the application. So we can see that we committed a mistake, and now we have a lot of versions being written. So I need to switch back to the previous version. You can also visualize how it happens in the existing visualization. So when I change the route, the existing route will change from the API Gateway Blue back to the existing API Gateway. So let's patch the route again to the previous version. It changed, and now we can see that now the API Gateway is pointing to the original version. So the blue-green deployment introduced the new version for all my clients. It replaced my version 1 by the version 2, and I couldn't do much besides return to the previous version. To avoid that kind of problem, we could use the Canary Deployments. Canary Deployments slowly introduce the version the new version among the existing version 1. That allows you to see how the new version behaves just for a small portion of customers and clients. So we will perform that using the Bonjour as a service. So I will increase the number of replicas running the Bonjour. I'll have here 4, and I will also show here a while printing the result of the crawl command on this service. We can see here that we have 4 different responses. So we can see what happens during a Canary deployment. As we did for the API gateway, we need to prepare a new version of Bonjour. So I will change the Bonjour to the version 2. And build the image inside OpenShift. So now we will create this new build and start the build inside OpenShift. Canary Bonjour from Jir, and I want to follow that build. We can create the app called Canary Bonjour. So what I will do now is to create a label that's common to both versions. I will apply a patch in the Bonjour, including a template, a new label called Canary Bonjour, and the same label I will apply to the deployment config of the Bonjour version. So of course now all pods have the same label called Service Canary Bonjour. Now I can modify the service to point just to that label. So the following patch will use as a selector the Canary Bonjour. We'll remove the selector for app and deployment config, and the session affinity will be client IP. Note here that the Bonjour is running, and once that I do that, now both versions are under the same service and how it behaves in the Canary deployments. Each 4 requests in the previous version, 1 is made in the new version. And you might ask why we are having access to different versions if we enabled the session affinity for the client IP. Well, that happens because the crawl command is not tracking the cookies. If I enable the cookies here in the crawl command, we will see that we just have the same version for the same client. So let's return to requests without any affinity. And now that we feel that the version is more comfortable to be published from 20%, we can increase, for example, for half percent of the requests happening on the version 1 and on the version 2. Now that we have 50-50, we can have 75%. And finally have 100% running the version 2 with 0 downtime during the deployment. If you like this video, please click on the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.